What's up, guys? This is the Jose Show. Happy Monday. Now let's get to it. Now let's start off today's show with something very sad. So unfortunately, Diane Keaton, famed actress, director, and producer, has died. Well, the legendary Hollywood actress who starred in tons of hit movies died in California, according to People. Diane's cause of death is unclear, though. So her movie credits are impressive: Something's Gotta Give, First Wife's Club, Father of the Bride, Annie Hall, The Godfather, Book Club, Baby Boom, Hanging Up, and on, man. She became famous way back in the 1970s after appearing in the Godfather franchise and working with director Woody Allen. So Diane won an Oscar for Best Actress for her work in 1977's Annie Hall, where she starred alongside Woody. And she was born in Los Angeles in 1946 and was the oldest of 4 children, and her first movie was in 1970 with Lovers and Other Strangers. Okay, so Diane got her big break playing Al Pacino's girlfriend in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather, reprising her role as Kay Adams in the sequel and trilogy. Other Woody Allen movies with Diane include Interiors, Manhattan, and Manhattan Murder Mystery. Okay, so she even starred in a Justin Bieber music video in 2021 for his song Ghost. Wow. Okay, so TMZ last saw Diane back in 2023 signing autographs in New York City right at the beginning of the writers' strike. Okay, so this is all according to TMZ, so this is very sad that Diane Keaton passed away. I am so in shock too that she's gone, because she seemed healthy, she seemed fine, and she seemed like she was in really good spirits, especially back in 2023 when she was in that strike going on. But, it's just one of those things where very unexpected things happen, even to the people that are so healthy, even to the people that even look healthy and so forth. And she definitely is like so iconic, man, because of all of the movies that she has done, and because of how good of an actress she was, and because of course she was, somebody that didn't give up with all of the movies that she did. Man, if there is an actress that really marked a huge highlight in so many people's lives, I think it's Diane Keaton, honestly. I mean, yes, other actresses like Julia Roberts, Angelina Jolie, and you name it, have marked a huge highlight in a lot of people's lives too, don't get me wrong, but I believe that with Diane Keaton, it was just more deeper with that because of how many movies she did, and because she was just very kind-hearted. And it wasn't just with her movies, it was also, in real life. And I never knew that she was with Al Pacino, by the way, which to me kind of shocked me, because I thought that, Diane Keaton was, very a little introverted, I guess, with how she dates and with who she dates and so forth. But I mean, the fact that she was dating Al Pacino just came to show that the woman had really good interest in men, because Al Pacino isn't all that bad looking. And of course, she got to even work with him, I believe, and that even created more of a chemistry, and that created more of a friendship, and of course a relationship right there. And then from there, she went off and won her first Oscar, which to me is very amazing and very iconic, especially way back in the 70s. And, the fact that she won an Oscar was really well deserved, because I mean, hello, we're talking about a top-notch actress that was like one of the best of the best. And then from there, of course, she was like very outstanding towards whoever came into her life when it came to the acting scene, of course. And she was very outstanding, of course, with meeting new people, especially with whoever she would work with and so forth, because the first thing that Diane Keaton wanted to do was meet people that were going towards her in her life, in her circle. And it wasn't just with acting, I believe it was also, of course, in real life. And that is what got Diane Keaton to get so far, especially in life. And of course, that's what caused Diane Keaton to, of course, be so loved in all levels. So she'll forever have that remembrance for being such a loving and such a good actress, and of course such an iconic actress. Okay, so I am still in shock, and I believe that everyone else is. But 79 years, man, she really didn't take him for granted. And she really, really gave it her all. And that's all that matters, man. May she rest in peace. And I believe that all of the movies that she has been in will keep her alive. Okay? But anyways, rest in peace, Diane Keaton. Now on to the next topic. So we have a positive update. So the 20 remaining living hostages in Gaza were returned to Israel earlier today after 2 years of war. Hamas released the names of 4 deceased hostages whose bodies it says will be handed over. All 250 Palestinian prisoners and more than 1,700 detainees from Gaza held by Israel without charge since the Hamas-led attacks on October 7, 2023 have now been released. So emotional scenes unfolded as the freed hostages reunited with their families in hospitals across Israel and as Palestinian prisoners met with their relatives in the West Bank and arrived in buses to large crowds in Gaza. This really fills my heart in all levels that all of these hostages are now back with their families after 2 years of a living hell, because they deserve to be back with their families and they deserve to be happy. And I watched those videos where all of these hostages were finally reunited and they were crying and they were hugging their families and their loved ones, and it really gave me so much emotion because I believe that at the end of the day, these people finally are seeing the light in all levels, and also these people are, finally, in that situation where they no longer have to be going through such horrible situations where they are basically away and they are kidnapped and they are, basically not in a free place at all. Okay. And also, I believe that with all of this going on, this comes to show that finally there was light outside of the tunnel, and that basically it was showing that in life there is a light outside of the tunnel, and that there is a flower and a beautiful rose and a beautiful peach after all of the horrendous things that happen in life. Okay, so with all of that being said, I think that now is the time where we're finally getting into peace here with our world. I mean, we are not getting into full peace, unfortunately, because unfortunately, in the daily lives, unfortunately, bad things happen in this crazy world that we live in. But with what just happened with these hostages reuniting with their loved ones, it is already coming to show that we are already getting into some peace here after all of the destruction that we have gone through with our world, and that we are finally getting somewhere, especially with justice. And let's also remember that now that we are getting into some peace here, I'm hoping for the love of God that, nothing like this gets to happen ever again, where there are a bunch of people held in hostages, and then, we get a bunch of destruction and a bunch of violence and a bunch of so forth and this and that in the coming years and the coming months, because honestly, I don't want to be hearing any more injustices of families getting separated and torn apart at all. Okay, just 2 years, man, after the whole entire destruction, there is finally a reunion going on, and to me, that is a very long time. October 7 of 2023, and now we're on October 13 of 2025. Man, oh my Lord. But anyways, may the Lord continue to be with all of these people that got held free from hostage, and of course to all of the families of all of these people that were held in hostage, of course. All right, but anyways, on to the next topic. So Roseanne Barr just unloaded her sprawling macadamia nut farm on Hawaii's Big Island, and she sold it for more than she was asking. Our real estate sources tell us Roseanne sold her 46-acre farm for a cool $2.6 million. She listed it in August for $1.95 million, and this is all according to TMZ. So Roseanne filmed her 2011 Lifetime series Roseanne's Nuts on the massive property which sits along the Big Island's Hamakua coast. On the show, Roseanne and her partner Johnny Argent farmed macadamias. Okay, so Paul B. Stukin of Deep Blue HI held the listing and represented Roseanne. He tells TMZ this skill demonstrates how Hawaii continues to capture global demand for legacy properties, with buyers traveling from multiple states and countries. Roseanne Tanakoa's farm achieved $650,000 over asking, a testament to the market's strength and the reach of our boutique approach. Okay, so the farmhouse is 2,716 square feet with 4 bedrooms, including a patio overlooking the Hawaiian coastline and the farm's orchard. So Roseanne's farm is also decked out with a pool, water slide, soaking tub, outdoor bamboo shower, a greenhouse, an art studio, and a pool house. So in addition to macadamia nut trees, the farm is planted with avocados, fingered limes, apple bananas, and tangerines. All right, this is insane, man, that this woman has a bunch of things in this farm. But I mean, we're talking about a really nice farm over in Hawaii, and we're talking about Roseanne Barr being the owner anyways. Why is this woman selling this? Why? Is it because she doesn't like Hawaii? Is it because she's afraid that, I don't know, a hurricane is going to go down into the farm and destroy everything? Or is she afraid that maybe a wildfire is going to strike her farmhouse, just like it did a few years ago, or I believe like a year ago, somewhere in Maui, I believe, which, by the way, I don't even know if this farm, by the way, is in Maui to begin with. It just says that it's in Hawaii. However, those could be the reasons. I'm not sure. But anyways, I believe that if Roseanne Barr is going to be selling this, she's going to be receiving a really good amount of money, and I believe that she's going to be enjoying it. I don't know, maybe. And also, what I think here is that Roseanne Barr, I believe, is now coming into a little bit of an attention here, because let's remember that she's been in the quiet spotlight for the past 5 or 6 years now because of the fact that she lost her job at ABC because of the fact that she called Valerie Jarrett, who used to be the assistant of Barack Obama, an ape. Let's remember that. And because of that, she also lost a lot of, love, and she lost a lot of respect from so many people that used to admire her and so forth. And of course, she lost a lot of comedy gigs that she had, and it caused her to get into so much depression, and she just gave up on everything. And now it's like, okay, now she's selling this house, and now people are like all of a sudden kind of focused into her, but not so focused into her like they used to be. And I mean, at this point, there's just no way that she's going to be making a reality show out of this, that she's going to be selling this farm. Because if she's going to try to make a reality show out of this, I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in watching a reality show where a woman is selling this farm over in Hawaii, and she's trying to regain her own status of becoming this beloved actress and so forth. Because I don't think that anybody's going to be taking her serious, nor is anybody going to be wanting to really, believe that she is, somebody that has changed after what she just did on Twitter by calling somebody an ape and so forth. Like, it's just going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, okay, I don't really give a damn about Roseanne. Let's just talk about something else. Let's just focus on something else, and that's it. And I think that I would be one of those people, because honestly, I think Roseanne is, a really good comedian. She's a really good actress and so forth. But I believe that after what she just did a few years ago into calling Valerie Jarrett an ape, I believe that it's something to not respect for. And I think that it's something that, unfortunately, has been giving her a really bad look in all levels. So why on earth should we just focus so much in the first place that this woman is even selling this farmhouse? I believe that somebody's going to want to buy it, that's for sure, because, it is really nice by just looking at it. The trees evolving it, the pool, the scenery, and of course the structure of the building itself and so forth, especially because it's over in Hawaii. And a lot of people do want to live in Hawaii after all. But the fact that we're just like over here sitting here like, oh my God, that Roseanne actually owned this property. Like, OMG, like the racist that called out Valerie Jarrett an ape, and the person that is, very disrespectful and that's just so pro-Trump. Like, no. Okay, I don't know. That's just me. That's just my own personal opinion. But anyways, on to the next topic. So Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce celebrated the Chiefs' big win on Sunday night by hitting the town with some buds. The world's most famous people cruised to Prime Social in Kansas City just after the Chiefs beat up the Detroit Lions at Arrowhead Stadium, and they seemed to have a blast. So Swift enjoyed at least one cocktail with a few gal pals, while Kelce posed for some pics with his teammate Kareem Hunt and some of their close friends. So they all had grins on their faces, which were well earned, and considering what the tight end and his Chiefs did to the Lions just hours earlier. So Kelce logged a team high with 6 catches for 78 yards as Kansas City rolled to a 30-17 victory. So the post-game was a bit marred by an ugly brawl, but clearly Kelce and Swift were able to put that past them. So the night marked the first time all year that Swift had been spotted by cameras at one of Kelce's games, and with her album now out and 2 straight home tilts on the schedule, it's almost certainly not the last we'll see of her this month. So the life of a showgirl, Chiefs fan continues apparently. Okay, so this is really interesting, and this is all according to TMZ. So I am glad that the Kansas City Chiefs got to have a huge victory last night because of the fact that Travis Kelce is definitely one of my favorite players from the Chiefs. And of course, I do love him because of the fact that he respects Taylor Swift and he is all there for Taylor Swift. Okay, and you know what? It's definitely one of those victories where I believe Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are definitely going to be too happy to the point that they are going to be making so much love in bed, or they already made so much love in bed because of how victorious the Chiefs were. And I'm just saying what I'm thinking. I'm not over here assuming things or making things up. Now, it's really interesting and it's really cool though how, after so many fails from the Kansas City Chiefs this past football season, now we're finally seeing a victorious here with the Kansas City Chiefs because, we've been seeing so many fails to the point that so many people were doubting that the Kansas City Chiefs was going to make it to the Super Bowl. But with this victorious from last night, it's actually kind of possible now that the Chiefs is going to be competing in the Super Bowl this upcoming year. And you know what? If they end up competing, then I am definitely rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs to be winning the Super Bowl, especially for Travis Kelce to be one of the people that will end up being victorious. Because trust me, I really like Travis Kelce. I like the Chiefs, but I also remember that unfortunately this past year, the Kansas City Chiefs were not victorious. They unfortunately had a big loss. And I do remember that last year, by the way, when the Kansas City Chiefs were also losing, but they ended up winning. Fortunately, though, Travis Kelce was going off on the coach, and it was definitely not pretty, but the coach was definitely very patient. And I was so glad that the coach was definitely patient because definitely if the coach would have not had the patience for Travis Kelce, then I believe that Travis Kelce maybe would have been disqualified from the whole entire game, and that would have been really ugly. So in all levels, I definitely, like I said, am hoping that the Chiefs end up winning in this next upcoming year. Okay, now I really am hopeful too at the same time that that Taylor Swift gets to be attending the Super Bowl so that way she can be there for her boyfriend, which I'm sure she will. Okay, because hello, Taylor Swift is really there for Travis Kelce, just like Travis Kelce is there for Taylor Swift. So yeah, let's just see how this goes, and let's just see definitely how Taylor Swift is going to be reacting in the next few games. Okay, but anyways, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's lovely episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.